Welcome to another Bible Bite, compliments of Heaven4sure. These Christian Living Bible Bites are published on Wednesdays and are available wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Peter Ramsey, and I want to share a little meditation from the Word of God to encourage you in your walk with the Lord today. Today's Bible Bite is entitled, Seeing God Bigger Than Your Circumstances. Have you ever wondered how people could look at the same thing but see something totally different? Why do weather forecasters tell you there's a 30% chance of rain tomorrow? Why don't they say a 70% chance of radiant sunshine? Have you ever noticed how two people can look at the same situation, one sees fear, and the other sees opportunity with God? Consider this lesson from Caleb and Joshua on faith, perspective, and trusting God. 12 influential men were selected to conduct a SWOT analysis: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats, an analysis of the new territory to be inhabited. They were assigned the task of assessing the strengths and the weaknesses, as well as the opportunities and the threats of the land. Their names aren't in the news as much now, but in their day, they made the headlines as leaders. Let me try to pronounce some of their names: Shammua, Shaphat, Caleb, Igal, Joshua, Palti, Gaddiel, Gadi, Amiel, Sethur, Nabi, and Gil. A lot was at stake. This new land had been the dream land for quite a while. 1 million people had been promised a better life in a better land. They were in transition, having left their lifelong homes in the hope of striking it rich in a new homeland. Just now, they were camping in a wilderness. Not really the type of place you'd want to call home. The new land was still a dream for them. So, the leadership team of 12 set out on their mission. It didn't take long for some conclusions to emerge regarding the possibilities and threats. However, the leadership team couldn't reach a consensus on their findings, and a majority report had to be delivered rather than a unanimous one. The majority saw only doom and gloom in the new land. The minority report filed by Monsieurs Caleb and Joshua was upbeat and recommended immediate action. The majority of the leaders conceded the new land had potential, but the threats far outnumbered the opportunities. The place was swarming with towering monster giants. We'd be wiped out in a flash. They'd stomp on us like grasshoppers, chew us up, and spit us out. People trembled and wept all night at the frightening forecast of such a bleak future. The two who filed the minority report had an entirely different point of view. The land was not only awesome, but the opportunities were many. Let's get going at once. With God on our side, we are well equipped to take over the new land. There is no reason to worry or fear. Here's how Numbers 14 records the incident. The land we passed through and explored is an extremely good land. If the Lord is pleased with us, He will bring us into this land, a land flowing with milk and honey, and give it to us. Only don't rebel against the Lord, and don't be afraid of the people of the land, for we will devour them. Their protection has been removed from them, and the Lord is with us. Don't be afraid of them. While the whole community threatened to stone them, the glory of the Lord appeared to all the Israelites at the tent of meeting. That's Numbers chapter 14, verses 7 through 10. The 10 saw giants. Caleb and Joshua saw, you're right, God. Caleb and Joshua simply saw God bigger than their circumstances, and it made all the difference. It's a sad day when leaders can't see the opportunities with God on their side. How frightening it is for the rest of the Christians if spiritual leaders are negative and see only doom and gloom in the days ahead. How depressing it is to hear messages that hold very little hope for future testimony. 2 of the 12 saw hope, potential, opportunity, growth, and success. What made the difference? Be sure of this. It had nothing to do with 10 being pessimists and 2 being optimists. Be sure of this. It had nothing to do with personality. It was a spiritual issue. It was a matter of where God was placed in their thinking. 2 of the 12 had their eyes on the Lord. He was between them and their circumstances. The other 10 could only see the circumstances because they didn't have the Lord in the right place in their thinking. All they could see were the threats, and they concluded that decline and disaster were inevitable. Now, on the posted Bible Bite on the website, there is actually a graphic that might help explain the point we are trying to make in this Bible Bite. But let me ask you, what kind of a leader would you like to be? What impressions are you leaving with other Christians? Are you going around saying, "Oh, things are on the decline, not like they were in the good old days"? Or are you saying, "Through God, we can see amazing things accomplished"? Hebrews 3, verse 12 and 13 says it like this: "See to it, brothers and sisters, that none of you has a sinful, unbelieving heart that turns away from the living God, but encourage one another daily." Caleb and Joshua would have had Romans 8, verse 31 underlined in their Bible had they access to the Roman epistle. Romans 8, verse 31, "If God be for us, who can be against us?" Where do you have God situated in your outlook on life, in your current circumstances? Everything changes when God is placed between you and what you face. Thank you for listening. If you know others who may benefit from these weekly Bible Bites, be sure to share it with them. And as always, walk carefully and closely with the Lord